Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed, baby. Now let's talk legends, right? Legends, right? We got young legends. You know, legends don't normally be young, but this one's a young legend, and I'm gonna call him. You see, I'm calling him more legend than Kung Fu Panda. Legends, right? Devin Haney, Undisputed Lightweight Champion, is legend right now. As we speak, he can stop fighting right now, and he's a legend. He's the youngest Undisputed Lightweight Champion in boxing history. Legend. And since he's been 20, he was called out at 20 years old the so-called best fighter in all of boxing, something we've never seen before. Have y'all ever heard of the, phrase Lomachenko? That was a 20-year-old Devin Haney. 20-year-old Devin Haney. Thinking he's ready for Lomachenko. And, obviously he was. Because Lomachenko went and got a franchise belt instead of fighting him. Probably about a few months later, a year later. Because franchise belt, that belt can't be but about 2 years old. So, franchise title. Instead of fighting this guy. So, can't forget that. We know that Devin Haney went over there and beat George Kambosos, who I told you they were going to do. Now they seem to call a weak champion, right? He's weak now. So tell that to Teofimo Lopez how weak he is. Teofimo don't seem to want none, right? And then tell that to Lomachenko, who lost to Teofimo Lopez. So I don't know how weak it is. He beat a guy who beat Lomachenko, right? So I knew he was going to be weak afterwards. He was still undisputed, but, still undefeated. Right, he was. But he lost George Kambosos. Right, so that's Devin Haney for you, right? But let me show you how his legendary status, right? Before Devin Haney went on to fight for Undisputed, there was nobody in the lightweight division that would want to fight him. Gervonta Tank Davis, no. His mandatory Ryan Garcia, no. Teofimo Lopez, who just had beat Lomachenko, no. Lomachenko himself, no, right? I think I said Ryan Garcia, right? And a whole bunch of other, Jojo Diaz, no. He fought him eventually, but they didn't want to, right? These are documented things. Those are the major players in the division didn't want to fight this little legend, right? But they would call him feather-fisted. And another thing they would call him, which I thought was scary. This is a scary thing, and it means two things are scary, but it's very, very telling. They call him the email champ. All of boxing would call Devin Haney the email champ, knowing that this guy did nothing wrong. Knowing that this is why, especially brothers, you gotta, I know you're trying to win an argument, like Gervonta Davis, by calling him an email champ, trying to win an argument, get under his skin, but not publicly. Call him that on the phone when y'all talk, because publicly you're supporting something that is absolutely devious. They made up a belt so brothers can be not getting fought. And I'm pretty sure everybody's not oblivious to that. So sometimes, I know you guys are young and you get on Twitter and you get on all this stuff, because everybody else does, instead of making your own decisions. Like, I might not want to tweet that about that other brother. I might not want to say this on a YouTube or Instagram live or whatever. I'm going to holler at him and call him that on the phone. Hey, bro. Email champ, and you guys can laugh about it. But you shouldn't want to do that, because the email champ is a lot of BS. The franchise title was the email champ, right? The franchise title. You've been boxing for years and you never heard of it because it's only 18 months old or 2 years, right? And they made it up for a bad reason. So to call him an email champ was foul, whoever was doing it, right? That was foul, right? Everybody got their franchise belt and they're happier about a franchise title than the real title. Absolutely ridiculous. But that's his legendary status. That shows there's something. Because feather-fisted, an email champ, but got a belt, you want to go beat him up because he's so easy. But that's how it rolls, right? So here's some more legendary things that's going on. Because we hear about Lomachenko, right? And I'm hearing about Lomachenko. And I told you, said, Devin Haney might not want to fight Lomachenko right now, because what's going to happen is he's going to have the excuse of a layoff, right? And so what I'm hearing is Tim Bradley in the article talking about, well, this is perfect time for Devin Haney to fight Lomachenko because Lomachenko's had a layoff. And I was telling, nope, don't fight him right now. Unfortunately, I hate to say that because that's the fight I would want to see. Right? We're going to fight Lomachenko. That's the fight that Devin Haney wants. But they're not going to give him credit if he were to beat Lomachenko because he's had a layoff. So Lomachenko should probably come back and look spectacular. Right? Like a Nakatani who couldn't move, a Comedy who, you know, was a good win though. I'm not gonna hate on that. But you know, Comedy's not the best mover either. But Lomachenko dominated those two fights. Right? So you know, let him come back and dominate somebody, and you know, so they can call him the Matrix, and you know, the best is back and all that good stuff, and then beat him. If he beats him right away, he's not gonna get credit for it, unfortunately, and I just don't think that, you know, that's a good idea. Now, I was hearing Bernard Hopkins, the legend of Bernard Hopkins, talk the other day, but make sure you get this clear. He's his promoter hat on. He's talking about, you know, lightweight division, you know, the main guy is Tank Davis, and that's baloney. I know a lot of people, especially on the internet, like to go in who's made the most pay-per-views and all of that all the time. That's not what we're supposed to be talking about, right? There is no other dog other than the guy that got all the damn belts. Right? Just because somebody is being promoted and they're fighting people, Gervonta Davis is not the best in any weight division. Not 130, not 135, not 140. Right? He's just a good fighter. He's the Black Canelo. Just good, but not the best at any weight division. But he got a lot of, you know, support. And he's going to continue to get support. I'm going to watch Gervonta Davis fights. I don't think he's better than Devin Haney because he would have proved it by now. I don't think he's better than Lomachenko because he would have proved it by now. He's got to prove that first. You see what I'm saying? But he's still good as a tank. But we're, you know, I'm talking about guys who wants to prove that they're the best in every division. Shakur Stevenson, we know damn well at 130, he's the best and he wants all the belts. Devin Haney at 135, he's got all the damn belts and he tried hard and hard to get them, right? But Mayweather's promoting Gervonta Davis pretty damn good, you know, and the only thing I think is just good to see a black guy that's not the best at the division, at least make a whole lot of money. So I ain't got nothing against that, you know what I'm saying? But when we talk about the very best, or the guy in the division is the guy with all the damn belts. All of them, and we still talking about other guys, then that's not a sport. If there's another guy that's a guy in a division where somebody has 4 belts and we're talking about another guy, then we're not talking about sport anymore. Do you see what I'm saying? We're talking about other stuff. Somebody might like him more. Good for them. The baddest one is the one with all the goddamn belts. What the hell are we talking about? Anything else? I mean, like, really? First of all, people stop listening to all that crap. Who gives a damn about his pay-per-views or whatever the hell? Whatever. There's a dude in your division that got all the belts. Either handle that business or we ain't talking about nothing at all. And it shouldn't be on no pay-per-view. Anybody that's in a division where someone else got all of the belts should not be allowed to be on pay-per-view. Really, but it's the way it works, boxing, good for that. But the baddest dude is the one with all the damn belts. Period. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he was talking about, because Ryan Garcia, you know, he's talking about Ryan Garcia because he got a fight against Javier Fortuna, which I'm not really interested in because neither one of them talking about Devin Haney. They don't want to, never. And he's the mandatory for Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, for a year now or whatever. But even before the Depression, don't want to fight Devin Haney. And speaking of which, this is why Devin Haney is a legend too. Check this out now. You got all 4 belts in the division, and there's not a line in front of your house. Man, listen. If this dude's name was Luke Campbell, or worse, you know what I'm saying? You give him a Luke Campbell or shoot, Cambosis, and he was undisputed, there would be a line outside of his house. The dude couldn't even go shopping, but out getting out of his house, be people waiting, right? In front of Devin Haney's house is crickets. There's nobody in the whole division that's got something to lose that is asking to fight the undisputed fighter in lightweight division. Guys, that's legendary. Period. There's really, really nothing to talk about. And I know people got to do videos every day and make their money with of it. In the lightweight division, there's no discussion about nothing. It's Devin Haney and the rest. And I've been saying this for at least 2 years. Because it's always been. I've never seen a mandatory not want to fight champions unless his name is Ryan Garcia, Jaime Munguia, who doesn't want to fight Demetrius Andrade, and Canelo Alvarez, who didn't want to fight Demetrius Andrade when he was at 154. Those are the only ones that are mandatories that don't want to fight the champions. Now, you got a champion with all 4 belts, and there is nobody pushing up on him. That's unprecedented and for sure legendary. And that's your boy Devin Haney, and he's 23 years old. Top that! Done with Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.